Welcome to Roxtalks. My name is Roxanne Wilson, and I'm always thrilled to see you. I hope you guys know that. You are a bright spot in my week. And don't get me wrong, the week is great, but you're a bright spot in a bright week. Today, I have something very special for you, and let me tell you why we're going to be talking to Abby M. Herman. Abby Herman is an email guru. She's all about the content. That's her thing. And I'll tell you a little bit more about her in a moment. But what I want you guys to know is what I'm looking at and seeing with my members and with the podcast viewers as well too, is that you guys are listening to and realizing that it's time to really establish your brand. You are ready to, or you're thinking about, or you're at least listening to this, so maybe like, okay, I'll listen. Making sure that you are a CEO of your business and not a glorified salesperson. And part of that is imparting the business tools for you to make that happen. You hear me preach about it all the time. It's got to get people, yes, get them on Instagram. You know, I love me some Instagram. Get your peeps on the different social media sites, but then you got to get their information off. Email's your quant, it's your money. But then when you do that, people are having this, oh crap moment, what do I do next? And that is why I invited Abby Herman to speak to us. Because Abby is a content strategist and a consultant for a service-based business, for service-based business owners, And she's all about helping them gain visibility for their businesses with personalized content strategies and delivery, so her clients can keep on doing what they love in their business. And she makes that marketing piece feel so easy. Now, what I love about this, and she also hosts a growing membership group, which you're going to hear about a little bit later, as well as offering business owners the DIY for their content and their marketing, because she knows that there's nothing more frustrating than not knowing where to start. You've heard that moment where you don't know where to start, you don't know what to say? Abby is all about that content. And today we're going to talk about really the journey that a client goes through. And so you can see why and how emails are important to that. But you're going to hear so much more than just how to get the emails right. But I want you to get those emails right, y'all. And this is going to help you with some ideas and things you can do with the emails. You're also going to hear about some other things that you can do along the journey to really grow your business, grow your brand, grow yourself as an expert. You hear me talking about that all the time. We're going to talk about this in depth. So let's dive in. But before we do, I want to tell you that during it, you're going to hear about a special event that is coming up soon, coming up in about a month, that I would love for you to be a guest for. And Abby is going to be collaborating with me on that. So to make sure you listen to the end to hear about that and how you can hear about more of it. Okay, let's dive in. Abby Herman, welcome to the podcast. It's so good to have you here. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, you know, it was a no-brainer. What you do, and you do so very well. And I know that so many network marketers out there right now are going through the motions of realizing that they are no longer, and not they ever were, but they are starting to go from thinking like a glorified salesperson to an actual CEO of their business. And as a result, all these things, like I need to do all the things, which is I think can be overwhelming, but I think with people like you and hopefully people like me, it's going to make it clearer to them how they can really rock their business.
Yes.
Now you focus really on entrepreneurs in general, but again, thinking like a CEO, your information is so important. And what I find is when people realize, okay, emails are important, right? Okay, it's not just posting on social media, which you know I love, but now we've got to get everyone off of social media and get them on our email list. They do it. They get the lead gen. I work with them. They get the lead gen. And then they're like, oh my gosh, now what do I do with these? Now what do I do with these names? And that's where you come in. I'm going to call you the content guru, the content creation guru. How does someone go from, like, when we have these names, what do we do with them? What comes next?
So you're collecting the names. So you're collecting email addresses from people who are interested in what you have to offer.
Yes.
And from there, you want to deliver what they're looking for. So I always recommend that you dive into what your audience wants by interviewing them, by sending out a survey. Not to everybody. You don't want to send out a survey to everybody because not everybody is going to be your ideal customer. But you send out a survey to people who you love, who have purchased from you before and you've loved working with them, or they're people who you really would love, you have a relationship with them and maybe they haven't bought from you, but you would love for them to buy from you. So you find out kind of, what do these people want to hear from me, so that you can continue to create more content like that. And then you can start attracting more people to you.
Okay,
So
so what I hear you saying is like just ask the people what they want.
yeah,
Like ask.
absolutely.
Which
Hmm.
which what I do love on Instagram is they can do that by using their stories and polling and finding out more about them before they they get on the list. But if you don't know, or you're not worried about, or you're worried you don't know, you're saying just ask them. Ask the question.
Yeah, and even more so than, because social media is great for getting feedback from people, but when you want really targeted feedback from a very specific group of people, send an email to them separately
Mm,
with a survey that you create in Google Forms, or one of the other form generating services that you can do, that they're free. There's a lot that are out there
absolutely.
that are free, so like Typeform and what have you. But ask them to fill out a survey, ask really targeted questions about, where do you, well, find out where they're following you online, if they're following you online, find out what challenges they have around whatever special offer you're putting out there, or whatever type of content you want to create. Make
Mhm,
sure that that's a challenge that they're really having before you do that. So
mhm.
I recommend sending really targeted surveys to very specific people, so that you get feedback from those very specific people, because on social media you have a lot of people following you. It's a great place to get some feedback, but are they really your ideal customer? We don't
Right.
know.
Right.
Don't
It's a
know.
funnel, right? It's a funnel. So they
Yeah.
get attracted to you, but you want to funnel that down. And you're saying once they get on your list, funnel that down even more and figure out what they actually want.
Yes. Yes.
So let's say that we've done the survey, we know what they want.
Hmm.
Now what?
Now you start creating the content that they want. You start figuring out how to deliver that information. So, give me an example of
Yeah,
someone who you have, and I can start generating some ideas from there.
absolutely. Let's say, do you want an example of the target market or the example of the
The
business?
business.
Okay, the business. Let's say skincare, because a lot of people listening here are in the skincare business.
Okay, so if you are, if you have a skincare business and you are looking to develop content for a specific type of, so I'm in the over 40 crowd, so I'll say for the aging,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
aging person, although I don't like to put myself in that box, but
You're younger than
so
J Lo. You're younger than J Lo. It's fine.
I don't think I am actually. Oh, am I? Is she in her 50s?
She is 50. Yes, she is.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay, I am younger a little bit. So maybe it's creating content around um,
Anti-aging and
yeah,
wrinkles and whatnot.
yeah, anti-aging and wrinkles. So if I'm trying to target someone like myself, I would talk about the different types of skincare products that are out there. I would talk about like some client testimonials, people who have had success in the past, maybe some before and afters. Posting that on social media, but then also turning around and telling my own personal story in email. So when you collect those email addresses, because we're talking about that, when you're collecting email addresses, people want to know the backstory. They want to know, how has it affected you? How have you had success? They want to know a little bit more of the personal stuff.
And let
So
me pause you right there because I think with network marketers and MLMers, they fall into the trap of let me just tell you about the product,
mhm,
or doing business, and they're like, no one wants to know who I am. But if you think about it, that is the determining factor between them shopping with you or shopping with the mass company or just going to a store or Amazon. So I think that's so
yes.
important. So you're saying start with saying, this is who I am.
Yeah, people really do want to know the personal side.
Mhm.
And I think it's really important if you're collecting email addresses and you're inviting people to be on your email list, it's really important to give those people on your email list a little something extra that you're not giving to anybody else. So this is not necessarily something that you're posting on social media. It's not something that you're putting on your blog or anything like that or talking about on a podcast. You're telling a personal story to this select group of people who have trusted you with their email address,
Mhm.
and they want something a little extra, so you can give it to them there. I like to use email for that reason because there are things that I don't necessarily want to share with everyone. um, and so I use my parents as an example all the time. I'm going to use them as an example again. So my parents are in their 70s and they're retired and they're never going to buy from me, but they follow me everywhere and they're on my email list. And sometimes I send something through email to my list, and I get an email or a call from my dad. I can't believe that you posted that. I can't believe that you said that.
Uh-huh,
And
yeah.
I'm like, well, so you have to, so if you're getting emails like that, if you're feeling shy about sharing something more personal on your email because of the people who are on your list, I would say think about who your ideal customer is. And
Mhm.
if those people are not your ideal customer, don't worry about what they're saying.
Mhm.
And don't worry about what they're thinking and what they're doing. And I've had the conversation with especially my dad multiple times. Okay, I know you used to have your own business too. However, this is 2020 now. You owned your business in the 1980s, so I'm good.
Hilarious. My mom usually reads things I put on social media, but she's always like 2 months behind. She's like, "Roxanne, I can't believe you posted." I'm like, "What was it? What was it?" I'm like, "Mom, that was
Yeah.
2 months ago." So
Uh-huh. For a while, I actually had my mom blocked on Instagram because I didn't want her to watch my Instagram stories. And one time, my daughter, who's 17, so she and I were visiting my parents, and my mom is like, "I don't understand why I can't see what you're doing on Instagram." And I'm there with my phone, like, "Oh my God, how do I unblock her right now?" And I'm nudging my daughter, like, "Help me unblock her." I don't know. And I was
that
like, "I don't know why you can't see anything."
which, by the way, I'm pretty impressed with your parents being on social media and reading all your emails. That's quite impressive.
Yeah, thanks.
Too funny. Okay, so once so tell them about yourself. You're saying start off by give them a little something more than you
Yeah.
give on social media, and let them feel like they're in your inner circle. Basically, is what you're saying.
Yes, I think it's important to put yourself out there on social media as well. However, I think that giving a little something, added value, added, whatever to your email list is important. It
Mhm.
could be a story about yourself. It could be additional tips that you want to give to them. There are a lot of different things you can do with email that would be different from what you would put on social media. I
Okay.
do think too that it's really important as you are creating your strategy for your marketing strategy, your visibility strategy. It's really important for everything to kind of mesh together and to work together. So um, if you're talking about a specific tip on social media or in a blog post, it's important to take that and align it really well with what you're putting on in your emails or on another platform. So everything should kind of go together, fit together too, so that you can be that go to expert for that product, for that service, for whatever outcome you are helping your customers achieve.
So you have to plan ahead, is what you're saying.
Yes,
What I heard you say.
absolutely. Totally, absolutely. I recommend planning ahead 90 days ahead on your content and what you're putting out there. So one of my clients actually is a Beachbody coach. So I can use her as an example that when she's actually just started doing the ultimate reset again in for the program. And so one of the things we talk about in her blog is the ultimate reset. One of the things that she's talking about social media, she's posting pictures that relate to it. She's posting um, like talking to her kids about it. She's got 4 kids and 2 of them are girls, and There's always the body image issues. So she's talking about that on social media. So we're including stuff about that in her emails. So it all really ties together at the same time that she's putting it out there, and the same time that she's doing it. There's usually a little bit of a lag. So she's doing it now. It's not actually going to go live on her blog for a few weeks, but we still tie everything together when the time comes.
And that's so important. And if you wonder why, and when you're listening, like, why do I have to do that? Well, you think about if you're promoting something or you're getting people excited about something, that needs to be the one thing you're talking about because it takes, people need to see it 6, 7, 8, 9 times to like really, if not more, for it to really hone in. So that's fantastic. So you have something that I believe you call it the content client journey. Is that right? Did I get the?
Yeah, it's the client journey map.
Journey map. There we go.
Which actually ties in really nicely to what you were just saying, that people have to see something 7 or 8 times, 6, 7, 8 times in order for it to like spark that, oh, I need this thing, or to remember, oh, it was Roxanne that was talking about this thing. So yeah, do you want me to kind of talk through?
Yes, I would love for you to, because I think it's going to give aha moments like on every step. So let's go through them and kind of chat about them for sure.
Yes. So you asked about getting people on your list and what happens when you get people on your list. So before you can even get somebody on your list, they need to be aware of you. So this is step 1. It's the brand awareness. And this is you are attracting people to your brand based on all this different content that you're putting out there. And I'm going to list some things, and just because I list them does not mean you need to be doing them, because we should not be doing everything.
Right.
But if you do 1 or 2 of these things consistently, then you will start to attract the right people to you. And anything that I mention here too it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. So it does take time for things to start to get traction.
Love it.
So some of the things that this is just a handful of things that you can do for brand awareness. You can create YouTube videos for your audience, write blog posts, have challenges in a Facebook group, promote a challenge to kind of get people interested in you, well, what's this thing that she's doing? And then they can really get to know you and get to know your brand by doing that. Guest blogging on other people's websites, infographics. So by posting infographics on social media, that's really good for brand awareness because they're catchy. Podcast interviews to get in front of new audiences. All of those, and of course, social media posts and all of that. Those are all ways to get people aware of your brand, and then to encourage them to sign up for the next thing, so that they can go on to step 2 in the client journey, which is educating and informing.
So I'm going to pause before we get to 2.
Yes.
So 1 is being out there in whatever way. And like you said, don't feel like you need to do all of them, but you can do them in different ways. And I think a good place to start, because a lot of what I'm seeing is a lot of network marketers are coming to me going, oh my gosh, I've just told I need to get my brand. I need to have a blog. I need to have a podcast. I need that. And they're like, I don't even know who I am. So I think a good place to start there is, well, figuring out who you are, which that's a whole nother Oprah. But you can, if you want to do a blog, you don't feel like you have to go out and buy a website and buy the domain name and do all the things. You can start by doing longer posts on your Instagram or on your Facebook or even your LinkedIn, if it makes sense, and start creating that. So when you do the blog, people are like, oh, of course she's doing a blog. She's giving me all this amazing content on my social media. I want to go that way. If YouTube is scary, then do an IGTV. It's a lot less scary, and start it there, or do like a Facebook video or Facebook Live or an IG Live, so that you can get into that practice. And when you're like, I have a YouTube channel, everyone is ready to go there because you've already brought it to fruition in different ways. Anyhow, keep going.
Yeah, and you feel a lot more comfortable in front of the camera once you have a little bit of video experience under your belt. I actually started creating video on Instagram stories, and I was terrified and I hated it and it was awful, but I did it, and now I love doing it. Like, I could just sit and talk at Instagram stories way too long every day. It's just a matter of practicing and doing it over and over again to feel more comfortable. And it's not going to be perfect the first time. It's not going to be perfect the 500th time, but honestly, that is what makes you unique.
Mhm.
And I say dorky, stupid things on my Instagram stories all the time. That's who I am, and that's okay.
Yeah, I go back to when reality TV started, people were like, that's never going to last. It's been 2 decades now. It's
Yeah,
lasting because we like to see that people are human,
yeah.
are normal, or maybe even, oh my gosh, I'm more normal than they are. All those things
Hmm.
work in your favor. So it's okay. It's okay.
Yes, yes.
So we've set up the brand, we have that going. Then step
Mhm.
2 on the journey.
Yeah, so hopefully what happens during brand awareness is that they sign up for your list, they continue following you, they want to learn more about you, and so then they move on to step 2. And it's really like the journey map that I'll share with you and your audience. It's really like little mountains, because really it is. It's kind of like you just go with the flow. And people might backtrack a little bit within this journey, and that's totally okay. So at stage 2, the business owner, are educating and informing your audience who are at stage 2. And you can do that through free courses, through opt-ins. So the opt-ins could be um, things that align with your product. So if you are in the health and nutrition space, it could be like a free meal plan, or it could be for skincare, it could be like a list of some of the um, best ways to take care of your skin at different stages in life, or different times in your monthly cycle, or whatever. You could be offering a webinar where you educate your audience about something, slide shares, things like that on LinkedIn. And then my favorite thing, the nurturing email,
Wait a minute.
because
Is that
they're
part of step 2 or 3?
that's part of step 2, and it's part of step 2 and beyond. I mean, it never goes away.
Okay, so let me just, I'm going to decipher what you were talking about is basically, y'all, she's talking about a lead gen or lead magnet. She's saying those
Mhm.
opt-ins are lead gens or lead magnets. So people are voting for you again before they vote for you for the big thing.
Yeah.
You're giving them information that they're super interested in. Keep going.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. So the nurturing emails are so important, and they should never go away. Once somebody has opted into your list, once somebody is aware of your brand and you're educating them, then from then on, you should be sending nurturing emails. And this could be like your regular nurturing email that you send to your entire list, or it could be something that's specialized that you're sending just to your customers, to your paid customers, or just to your paid customers who buy a certain product. You could have a series of emails. If somebody buys something, you could have a series of emails for that particular thing to help educate and educate them about the product, how to use it better, how to get the best results, that kind of thing.
So what
Um,
I'm seeing is almost like a tree trunk and like or a vine, and there's all
yeah.
these vines and different ways you can go. And I would say to y'all, when you're thinking, oh wait, my company already sends emails on like how to use the product, emails from you go a lot further than emails from your company. They just
Yes.
do.
Absolutely. 100%. So once they are on your list, and they're getting these nurturing emails, they've got some education from you. Then they go on to step 3, which is the demonstration of expertise. And so they may not be customers at this point. They're probably not customers at this point. They are looking to you to be the expert at your thing, whatever product you're selling, whatever service you're offering. You want to be the expert. And the content that you can create to help demonstrate that expertise is using testimonials from customers who have come before them. How-to videos are super helpful, and that's actually a really good way to get your face in front of them. Because face to face, I think, is so much more valuable than just written content. As much as I'm a writer, you need to put some video out there too. Samples of what you do, and that could be physical samples that you send with a little mini tutorial. It could be if you deliver in a different way, like I was talking about the uh, um, like a sample menu of some sort. A frequently asked questions page, free discovery calls. That's content.
That's
By getting on the call with someone, getting on Zoom or getting on Skype or whatever. Client interviews, so interviewing your clients, either audio, video, or both. So you can kind of see how, as we go through this journey, the information is it's kind of intersecting, like,
Mhm.
so client testimonials are how-to videos. That goes back to brand awareness, so you're continuing to build brand awareness through, even though they're on step 3.
So two well, part of it is the nurture emails that you're
Mhm.
sending, kind of giving people a little bit of information, but those little nuggets. But then you're getting deeper by offering them something that really sets you up as an expert.
Yes. Yeah.
Which, if you're feeling like, but I'm not an expert, my answer to you is yes, you are. You have to get over the imposter syndrome. You're not an imposter. You
Yeah.
are repping, you are selling, you're not a glorified sales rep, right? So that I in my mind, a glorified sales rep is like, oh, do I really know this? Here's
Mhm.
this product, it's their product. You
Yeah.
have to feel like it's your product, your business that you're selling. And if you're trying to recruit people, you've got to be an expert, because my goodness, who wants to join someone who doesn't think they're an expert? Like,
Yeah.
I'll go to the next person down the road. So
Yes.
I love what you're saying about how you're setting yourself as up, that brand awareness. You're really ingratiating yourself with them. Now, would you send those, so via email, you're sending them invitations to watch those things? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So you have their email list, so you can send them these how-to videos. You can send them invitations the to the master classes or the webinars, things like that. So yes. And I actually want to piggyback on something else that you just said, because you said if you're recruiting people. So I want to mention too that this client journey map can go for, and I don't think this is what you meant, but I think it's important to mention, this is not just the people who are buying from you. These are also the team members that you're recruiting to be a part of your team. They need this information too. They need to know that you're an expert. They need to know that you have all of these resources that they can pull from to help grow their own teams. And so you're not just building your business and your customers, you're helping to build the businesses of the people who are under you in the organization.
I love it. That's such a good point. Good point.
Yes.
Okay, so we're on step, that was 3 we're on,
That
yes?
was 3. So you're demonstrating your expertise, and then step 4, they are converting to customers. So they have all this knowledge, they know about you, they have that awareness, you have educated them, people are feeling comfortable, you've shown that you're an expert, and now, all right, I'm ready to buy from you. So again, this is not I'm going to put something out there and people are going to buy from me. This is, I need to walk them through these steps to
Yes.
get them to be a customer.
And the
And
and the
some people will skip steps.
right.
Some people will have some background knowledge of your product already, and they'll find you, and something will spark them to say, "Yep, I'm just going to buy from this person."
Mhm.
But some people need to be nurtured the whole way through the steps.
And the good thing about the nurturing, I know people want the magic pill, but the
Mhm.
good thing about this nurturing is that those people are the people who are gonna be the most loyal to you. Even if
Yes.
they decide they don't want the product anymore, they're gonna be shouting your name from the mountaintops and telling other people that they should try it or do it. So it is
Yes.
actually a good thing long term, because that know, like, and trust factor is, like, deep at this point.
Yes, absolutely. So some of the things that can help, some of the content that can help you with converting them to a customer once they get to this point where they're ready. So your pricing page, so having your pricing available, a work with me page if you offer a service. What are some ways that people can work with you? The sales page for the actual product, a free trial, fact sheets, demonstrations. So that kind of ties in with the how-to videos.
Mhm.
If you offer a service, this is more for service-based businesses. If you offer a service, a proposal, or a quote that you can send to them that is professionally put together. So all of those things can help they're ready to buy, and then they're going to convert because they see this really well put out content from you.
I love that. And most companies, if you look in their database or their marketing, they have these for you. So download them, take them, and use them. Let me ask you this though: how do you feel about when we're talking about the videos throughout this process? Using a company video versus using a video that you do yourself.
So I think if you're strapped for time, I think a company video is fine, but I think that your own video is much more personal. People will
Mhm.
get to know you better by seeing it. They'll connect with you better by seeing your own video. And it also helps to demonstrate your expertise, not the company's, but your expertise.
Amen. I love it. I love it. Okay, so
All
we're
right,
on
so
step.
so you've converted the customer, they've
Four.
bought from you. There's still 2 more steps in this journey, even though they've bought from you and you have them as a customer. So let's say somebody buys a something from you that's a subscription of some sort, and it's $50 a month, but you have all these other offerings.
Mhm.
So step 5 is expanding the offerings. So maybe it's which brings in more income for you, and
Sure.
it helps the customer even more.
Let me put this in more direct sales because some people have subscriptions, but so the product maybe it's not 50. Maybe you've got them on one specific product, but she's saying, hey, what are some other products, some ancillary products that can help them and also help you?
Yes, exactly, exactly. So those could be, and some of these you may or may not have control over based on how your company works, but added bonuses. So if you are able to give a bonus with a purchase, that you are introducing them to a new product, maybe at a lower price. And if they fall in love with the product, then that could continue to be a residual sale for you. Offering webinars again to people to show them some of the other things that they could do, some of the other products, nurturing emails always, limited time offers. So I know a lot of times companies have specials on new products and services that they offer, so that could be something, and your customers are not going to know about it necessarily unless you tell them.
Mhm.
So make sure you're talking to people and continuing to put out that content on social media, in your emails, wherever, so that your people know, so your audience knows that these specials are out there. And then again, more nurturing videos and how to's on these other products that relate to what they're already purchasing. And you can do this in a lot of ways. You can let people know about this in a lot of ways. Like I talked about earlier, you can have emails that only go to a select population in your email list.
Mhm.
So if somebody bought one particular product and there's another product that goes along with it, send those emails to those people. And you can tag, so depending on what email service you're using, you can tag your audience, and depending, I guess, on how your company deals with email addresses and things like that.
Yes, and hopefully you have access to your clients' email addresses, or if not, if your company doesn't give them one, say, get them, so that you have those because that is so very important. Love
Yes.
it.
Yeah.
What's the next step?
So the next step is retaining the relationship. So we want to keep these customers around. We want to keep them buying from us. We want to keep serving them. And so again, that's nurturing emails, continuing that contact with them, that personalized contact. Um, Sometimes it is one-on-one email communication with
Mhm.
them. And then again, more how to's, and then real time contact. So finding ways to sending those direct messages on Facebook or Instagram, without being a pest about it, but sending them, finding out how they're doing. If you have a Facebook group for your customers, being in contact with them all the time there, like being present, it will help to retain that relationship. So just serving them the best way you can is the best way to, because it's so much easier to keep customers than it is to find new ones.
True. It is. It is. That's a proven fact. So those
Yeah.
are the steps on that client journey that you really hit home. And for you, the content through that, I mean, that is key. Let me ask you this: when you think through that process, is there one step that does not include emails, or you're saying emails need to be in all of it? or
I
except
think
for the
email
first.
should be in all of it, and actually on the map, emails are not listed in all of it, but emails should be part of all of it. The only place it's not going to be present is brand awareness,
Right.
because you have it because you're just trying to get them aware of who you are.
Mhm.
But the goal there is to get their email address.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. So the whole
yeah.
point is like the emails. I love I love that you I mean that you have this journey, but more importantly that you're really impressing upon us the importance of emails because
Mm.
it's something that's not taught in direct marketing. It boggles my direct sales, I say. It boggles my mind. It makes me crazy because your email list is your quan, it's your money. And
Yes.
so if you don't have people's emails, you don't have access to them except at at the liberty of Facebook or Instagram or
Mhm.
LinkedIn or Pinterest. And if those go away, where are your people?
Yes, you do not own those likes at all. You do not own the follows, none of that.
You don't
You
you get
own the email addresses and you own the platform that you're using to send those emails. I highly recommend I recommend Active Campaign.
that's what I use.
ConvertKit is a good one too.
Mhm.
I I know that MailChimp is free. I started on MailChimp. I do not recommend MailChimp simply for the reason that it's just it's so, and I know that they've added a bunch of things, but
Yeah, and they've
there's
taken
so
away
many
things.
things that you can do differently and better in other platforms. So,
It's so
um,
funny because this is the conversation I'm having with my clients right now. Because again, I get it. Like you start a network marketing company, you think that I just buy the box of whatever and I'm in. So
mhm,
you think that you don't have to invest in learning more things in all these systems. Whereas someone who's doing an online business, they're like, okay, I need to buy this, this, and this. So
yeah,
it's a journey even to get for them to feel right about that. And so I'm always like, okay, MailChimp's free, start MailChimp. However, when you're ready to, and I tell them, I don't, and what I'm seeing is they're having those struggles with MailChimp. I'm like, uh-huh. And I say, listen,
mm,
MailChimp, yes, I'm not going to train you on it. I am not a MailChimp expert. I do not like MailChimp,
yeah,
but it's free, but there's got to be another option. Active Campaign has made me very happy. So I'm
yes.
with you on that as well too.
Well, and I like to put it this way: you're asking people to invest in you and in your product or your service. So make the investment in them by by having this email service that is high quality, that's not going to land in their spam folders as often. Sometimes they still will land in spam, but MailChimp is so much more likely to land in spam because it's so easy to put all those graphics and make it nice
Yes.
and pretty. And Gmail recognizes that and they're like, nope, they're selling something. Nope.
Uh,
It's okay to have
yes.
boring text heavy emails.
Do
That
you
is okay.
Can I tell you something? Because like I said, I started with MailChimp, and when I got to Active Campaign, and I learned on Active Campaign, you shouldn't have more than like one image. They don't recommend more than one image. I was like, what? I was
Mhm.
shocked. And then like the fact that this is not an ad for Active Campaign, but we're talking about anyway, that like I would do a title of a subject title, and it would say, you failed the spam test. I'm like, there's a spam
Yes.
test? What?
Yes.
They never learned that on MailChimp. Never. They never tell you that. And I'm like, all this.
Yeah.
So
And
yeah.
some of the words, because I had that happen too. And some of the words, I'm like, what is the word that I'm using that I shouldn't be using? And you have to go through, and it's anything that is related to making money or losing weight, or there's certain words that you can't use, and you also can't use those on if you've ever tried Facebook ads. It's also
Yes.
the
Yes.
Facebook ads will ding you on that too.
Yes.
But yeah, it's hard to make that transition from the free service to the paid
Feels
service, but it is worth it 100 times
it,
over.
it really is. And I'll give you one more nugget. If you use a exclamation point and a question mark in the
Yes.
subject, you will fail. You can't
Uh-huh.
do
And I
that.
love using exclamation
I
and question
know.
marks together.
I'm like, wait, but those are together. But you're right.
Yes.
It feels very, at first, I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm spending that much a month. And then after the second month, I was like, oh yeah, it's totally worth it. Like you just have a total mind shift.
Yeah.
And that's part of the shift of thinking like a CEO as opposed to a glorified salesperson. Because
Yes.
the salesperson doesn't have to pay all of the overhead, right? They just come in, they put their clock in, their time card, time sheet, and they do the thing. But if you're going to run your business and you want to grow it, you've got to do these things. Two other questions for you, actually. And then I want to talk about what you have going on and whatnot, and then what we have going on too. But my first is, so you said that the journey that we just talked about, and I know we talked about it more product specific, but you're saying you could do the same thing. If you're like, I'm really focused on recruiting, you could do the same thing and just tweak it slightly, who you're talking to, and then also what you're offering them to show them the business side of things. Yes?
Yes, absolutely. And the more, if you're trying to recruit people for your team, the more that they see that you are putting yourself out there and that you have content out there and resources out there, the more appealing it is for them to join your team as well. So
Fantastic.
yes.
I love
So
that.
I think that the content for your potential customers serves two purposes. One for the actual customers and one for potential team members down the road.
Brilliant. Love that. Okay, my other question is, because what I'm seeing, and I love it, like I love that people are like, okay, I know I need to do emails, but what I'm seeing is a lot of, here's my product, buy my thing. So in your opinion, is it okay to talk about your product and buy, and hey, press this button and buy it in every email, or when would you even start talking about
No, you don't want to talk about it all the time, because again, people need to get to know you. People need to have a connection with you, and they're not going to have a connection with you if you are constantly asking for the sale.
that?
So specifically with email, I would recommend sending an email weekly, every other week. I think I like weekly, but every other week if weekly feels a little tight for you as far as time goes. And I would ask for the sale maybe every fourth email. Um, Focus on the value, focus on the content, focus on educating your people before you ask for the sale.
I love that.
They want, and I even think that every fourth is almost too much, but I think it depends on how often you're emailing your list.
Mm-hmm.
And even on like on your social media and anything else you're putting out there, they want to get to know you. They want to know that you can solve their problem without them having to spend any money. And they want solutions without having to spend any money. And I get it that we're all like, I'm in business to make money. I need to make money. Everybody needs to make money. You need to make the sales, but you're not going to make the sales if you're constantly asking them to buy, because then they're seeing, well, all she wants to do is make a sale. All she wants is money from me. How is she helping me? That's where things like those opt-ins, those lead generation pieces, the freebies, that's where they really help to solve quick problems, to solve the problem, and to know that you're in it to help them. You're not in it to make the sale. And we know that you're in it to make the sale. And that's okay.
Right.
I am too. We all are. It's okay.
Yeah, I love it. You want to feel like a number. You want to feel like she cares about me.
Yes.
Wants me to have this win, and she wants me to be successful.
Yeah, and the more you approach your business, selling, anything like that, as you're helping someone, you're helping to solve a problem, the easier it will be to make the sale. And I will tell you too that there will forever be people who follow you and who are on your list and who are consuming your free content that you offer, and they're only ever going to consume the free stuff. There will always be people like that. But there are also people who need that free stuff in order to make a better decision. So they want to make a good buying decision, and so they need that free information. They need to know who you are, what your product does, and all of that in order to make that good decision. So don't worry about the freebie people. They'll always be there.
They're always going to be there. And you know what? At least it's a button to see. When you're doing like a webinar and there's one expert, they may not buy from you, but they're there consuming the information. And I would like to think I'm helping them. And so that makes it worth it for sure.
Absolutely.
Yes. Thank you so much, Abby. Now I know there are people writing for your notes or people driving going, I couldn't write this down, but that's okay. because you have it for us. Yes?
I do. The content journey map I have for you. If you go to abbymherman.com/journey, you can grab your own. It's actually, I'm giving you guys the ebook version of
Wow.
it, which has another map in it, and it has some additional information about each of the stages too, so that you can download that.
Thank you so much. And if you're like, I didn't get the email, you just go to Roxtalks podcast and it will be on there for this episode. So you can click that. And I recommend that you do. Now, in your regular life, when you're not doing my podcast or your own podcast, you are helping clients. And can you tell us a little about what you have, how you do that?
Yes. So I have two things that I do with clients. One is I work with them one on one to help them develop their content strategies, and I do some of the implementation for them as well. But the thing that I am doing even more so now that I'm really excited about is I have a new membership
Nice.
called Content Strategy Lab that can I'm sorry, Content Mastery Lab. It is brand new, and I'm not feeling well today.
I know. Thank you for being on. She's sick.
So my head's a little cloudy. Yeah, Content Mastery Lab. If you go to contentmasterylab.com, it is a month-to-month membership that offers you. There's a book club, a quarterly book club for members. There are Q&A sessions. There are masterclass trainings on a regular basis. There are guest experts, mini trainings, all kinds of content that's already loaded into the membership itself. And that is $89 a month, and it's open now.
And what do people get from it? Like if they do it, what's the transformation?
So they are learning how to develop their own content strategy on their own, and they're learning how to use all of the different pieces of content in a way that helps to grow their business. So they're also getting access to my easy peasy email marketing course. And I have a relationship marketing course in there as well that everybody has access to. But basically, it is like the go-to place for, oh my God, what content am I supposed to put out there?
Uh-huh.
I don't know what I'm supposed to be creating. I don't know where I'm supposed to put it. I don't know how to survey my audience. You get all of that, and I solve all of those issues for you. I give you all of the resources so that you can do that.
That's awesome. I love it. And you and I are going to see each other soon, and I want everyone to be there. And I have not, like, drum roll, please. I've not told anyone about this yet. That's not true. My members know. But coming up next month, because this is in January. Yes. So next month, Abby, you are going to be a guest at a very special event. It's the Social Media for Network Marketers Summit. And I'm so excited that you're going to be telling us more about how to really grow our businesses for network marketers. It's fantastic. So thank you for saying yes to that.
Yes, I'm super excited about it. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And if you want more information about that, you can get on the list also on the Roxtalks podcast, of just like the list to let you know when it's officially open. But it's going to be phenomenal. And like I said, Abby M. Herman is one of the speakers, so you know it's going to be good. Thank you so much for this. Thank you for taking the time to really share your wisdom and really inspire people to get this email thing going and their content going. I know it's going to make a huge difference in 2020. So thank you so much, Abby.
Thank you. This is my favorite thing to talk about. I love email.
Good. We need that then. Awesome. You have a great day.
Thank you.
Welcome back to Roxtalks. And now I want to talk to you in this mindset moment about feeling like an imposter. Do you ever feel like, who am I? Like, who am I to be the one telling people what to do with their weight loss or their keto or their skincare or their wine? I'm not the person who created this. I didn't make it. It's not my idea. Why do I feel like why should I feel like I'm the person they want to talk to? I call this the imposter syndrome. I didn't make it up. That's a term. It's terminology, but you feel like you're an imposter, right? Do you remember back when I was a little kid, they had those designer imposter perfumes, and it was like, smells like Calvin Klein, smells like, or as seen on, and you might feel like you're one of those designer imposter perfumes as opposed to the real thing. I am going to challenge you this week to decide that you're the real thing, because your feelings are what you decide they're going to be. The truth is what you decide it's going to be. If you decide you're an imposter, then you're an imposter. And all of these things, all of these tools, everything you do, your IPA is going to fall flat because you don't feel like you have any credibility. It's a decision you make. The decision you're making is that you are an expert. And why aren't you an expert? Why do you think you're not an expert? Because you didn't create the product? That doesn't mean you're not an expert on it. Do you use it? Have you done a lot of research on it? Do you have personal knowledge of it? I bet you do. I bet you do. And you need to realize that when you are, especially in this world of 2020, you just need to know more than the person who needs to know. See my point? Your journey, listen, if you just started your network marketing business and you're like, I've never even tried the product, that's okay. Try the product, please. And appreciate that. That would be good. But you just need to know more than the person who's coming up. So, for example, if you are selling clean crafted wine, you need to know the importance of clean, y'all, clean crafted wine a little bit more than the person who doesn't even know that. That's all you need to know. That makes you an expert. When I first heard about crafted wine, clearly I can't sell that because I can't say it. But when I first found out about that, I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know that people put sulfates, that they added a bunch of sugar in wine. How was I supposed to know that? I thought they stomp the grapes, do their thing, ferment it, and ta-da! I didn't know that. I didn't expect the person that I bought the wine from to be the person who discovered it. No, it's someone I had a relationship with that I appreciated, and she tried it. She knows the stuff, and she was able to give me the information. And I'm like, I'm all in. I'll try it. This is my point. Yes, you're right. You're not the person who created the product. I am not Oprah. Yeah, I am not Kelly Clarkson. I am not all of the things, but I'm Roxanne, and I know some things, and there's some people out there who want to know what I know. There's some people out there who want recommendations on what I use. And so the best thing I can do is make sure that I'm being genuine in that, and standing in that, because there's people who are not going to hear it. Listen, y'all, believe it or not, there's people who don't like Oprah. I know it's weird. If you're one of them, don't tell me. It's all good. I love you anyway. But there's people who don't want to hear from the person who created it. They don't want to hear from the person who created the clean crafted wine or that skincare regimen. That they don't resonate with that person, or the first consultant in that business. That person is not relatable. They don't know me. They don't even understand me. They don't live a normal life. But you do. And they want to hear it from you, and they want to know, does it work for you? Do you like it? Okay, well then I'll try it. You are more of an expert than you realize. So today, I want you to decide that you are not an imposter, but don't say it that way. Say, I am an expert. Say it, write it, believe it, you're an expert. And every time you're about to do a reach out, you're about to post something on social media, you're about to write an email, you're about to get up on stage and talk about your product or your business, I want you to say, I am an expert. All right. I thought we needed a break after that. I needed a break after that. Before we roll right into the tech tip. And this tech tip is inspired by the conversation that Abby, Herman, and I had. And it's really interesting because it's something I've been struggling with, because I understand network marketers. By golly, I am one. And so I get the whole, I was told I just have to get the business in a box and then I'm good to go. And now I have to buy other things. What the what? And as a result, I too, when I started my network marketing business, I got on MailChimp. Oh, cool, it's free. Yeah, I'm gonna do my thing. And I did the MailChimp. And it wasn't until I started helping network marketers that I made and started the membership program, Social Stories, which I send out an email every single day, that I was like, there are better plans out there. What are these? I had used some others before, don't get me wrong, but I when I was a Jazz Chess franchisee, but I was like, oh, for this business, I should probably like invest in the business. I get that. So I switched to Active Campaign. I love Active Campaign. Right now, it's the best thing that works for me. Will there be another one in the future? Maybe. And if there is, will I tell you? Absolutely. But right now, I dig Active Campaign. I'm going to tell you right now, it is more expensive than free, but there are a lot less fewer headaches. And if there's ever something I don't understand, I actually have customer service reps who will talk to me. Amazing, right? But here's the thing, the capability, the functionality. And I know for some of you, you're like, Roxanne, I'm still sending emails from Gmail or from Hotmail. So stop doing that, please, pretty please, because your emails aren't hitting people. Plus, you don't have the information that you need. You don't know who opened it. You don't know how many times they clicked on something, or if they clicked through. You have no analytics, and information is power. When I first encouraged my MLM bosses members to get an email system, the feedback I got from them was, oh my goodness, I feel like I'm a business person now. Why do they feel that way? Because they had the information. It wasn't just sending it out and going, did anyone hear it? They had the info. And like I said, in my program, I train you and assume you're going to use the MailChimp system, because I get it, because that's a good dip your toe in. But when you're ready, it's time to move on. It is time to move on. So for those of you who have a business, and when do you move on? That's up to you. I can't really say that. You might just dive in immediately. But here's what I see. I sat there and I looked at the price and I was like, okay, that means I need to make sure I sell such and such to cover the price. You do the same thing. Decide that means you need to sell another wine, maybe a wine club membership. Maybe it's another regimen. Maybe it's another, whatever it may be, to make sure that you can have an email system that is robust and that gives you what you need. Like I said with Abby, the first month I was like, oh my gosh. But then the second month I'm like, oh, this was Captain Obvious. Now, don't get it and then don't use it. Okay. And then not use it. You need to get it and then use it. So maybe you test yourself with the free one. And if you're using it, it's time to move on to another system. I'm going to put a link to Active Campaign inside at Roxtalks podcast. I will be completely upfront with you. I am an affiliate, which means that I will get something if you decide to sign up. I'm just telling you what it is. Real talk. It doesn't come out. It doesn't make your price any higher. It's something that they do. You know, I'm a big affiliate fan, but I wouldn't be talking about if I didn't use it and I didn't believe in it. I've looked for others that maybe aren't as expensive, just so you can use that one. I'm still yet to find it. So if you are, and if you have questions about it, if you just want to know more about it, feel free to email me, Roxanne at roxannewilson.com. Y'all, I'm on a 36-hour fast and it's coming through. Okay, we'll be right back with Behind the Scenes. All right, so we're chatting today, and it's right now when I'm recording this, and this is going to be recorded out of order-ish. Well, I'm doing a couple different podcast recordings today. I don't mind telling you that. So this is January 13th. So when you're listening to this, I am about to do a webinar to close the cart for my Social Stories membership. The 5-day challenge was last week. And it's been great so far. So my goal was 1,000. I didn't get to 1,000. My goal was 1,000. I got 350, 316. So you're like, oh no, Roxanne, the horror. It hasn't been a horror. It's been amazing. So here's what I've learned from the fact that I didn't get the numbers that I wanted. I base those numbers on growing from before. And some things I didn't consider that I need to consider, but it happens, right? Is this is like beginning of January. In my mind, I'm thinking, oh yeah, start the business. You want to start your business right. You want to get it right. And yes, and that sounds good, but in reality, people are just recovering from the holiday. They're getting their kids back into school. They are probably focused on a journey of some health something. And They may not be completely focused on their business. And so if you ask me why I think I didn't hit the number, that's exactly why. Already I have people in the challenge saying my team wants to do it now, my team wants to do it now. And I'm like, because my plan is not to do another one until March. Because as you know, if you listen, we have the summit coming up in February, and that is taking a lot of focus. So what I need to do is figure out what to do to service, because I'm all service. I want to service those who want that challenge sooner rather than later. And while they could do it on their own, I really think an important part of it is the live, is going through it, and is the attention that I give each and every one of the challengers. So I've got to figure that out, and so that is one. But what I'm finding is, regardless of your numbers, when you do a webinar or when you do a challenge, you want to make sure that your conversion rate, right, how many people join, it grows. You always want to know that that's growing. So my focus right now, and the cart doesn't close for another day, is to make sure that the people in the challenge are converted into people that I get to help longer, that join the membership. Now I did something different. I offered a different membership, like a non-membership option, which may be confusing, and I'll have to find out after if people found that confusing, but I offered 3 membership tiers, and then or if you just want a starter kit with training, some training, here it is. Because I know that some people just, memberships aren't their thing, although you can cancel anytime, but still. And so we'll see how that goes. Like I said, I won't know till next week or later this week how it all went. But what I'm really excited about is the people who've joined already. So excited. So excited. I'm excited for them. They're ready to crush this and make this happen. And it's an exciting time. So this week, my focus really is closing the cart. I am doing 4 live sessions. So I've got the webinar tonight. I'm doing an IG Reboot Live hot seat for the new members, really getting their Instagram, making sure their profile and everything is set right, because they did the stories last week. They're rocking the stories, but you do the stories right, and then people go, oh, that's her, that's not who I thought she was. So I want to make sure that they can get that right and be successful in it. So that is a big focus. And then I also am doing a live office hours with my members. I've challenged my members, if you're listening, members, hey, to have their lead generator done, a new one or an old one, doesn't matter. I mean, another one or a new one, depending on when they joined, have it done by February 1st. And I'm so impressed. If you're listening, I'm impressed with you, because a lot of you are doing it and getting it done. And I've really made this month's focus helping them along the way and giving them tools to make sure that they can get that lead gen done. So we're going to do an office hours, kind of a check-in. Again, this is the mid-month is when this is happening. So we're going to do that, and I will be pretty spent voice-wise by the end of the week, but y'all, this makes me so happy. And the other big thing I'm working on is the summit. So I mentioned a little bit with Abby. It is the Social Media for Network Marketing Summit. What the heck does that mean? What that means is that this is all about, it's a summit all about social media. So social media is important, but how do you do all the things? I'm going to have experts, not only on the content like you heard Abby talk about today, but experts on LinkedIn, on Facebook groups, on Instagram, on pictures, on the whole 9 yards, the whole 9. I'm just listing some of the topics. YouTube, hello, how did I forget that? TikTok, can't forget that. We're going to be talking about all of it so that you have what you need to make sure that you've got the social media thing down. Because if you're not using free social media, then why? You need to use that. And so this is going to be a really, really moving summit. I'm so excited about it. Did I mention Pinterest? There's Pinterest people there too. So that you can make it, you can rock it. How do you get a part of the summit? Well, it's not open yet. Not yet. And by the way, it's free. What? It's free. It is. But if you go to Roxtalks podcast for this episode, I will have a link where you can get on the waiting list, and the day that it opens, the website comes open, you'll get to be in the know so that you can join, and you can also invite your friends to join. Okay, and your teammates, your downlines, uplines. Be abundant. This is going to be a really great summit, and I'd love for you to share it with your peeps. All right, That is all for this week. I have one more thing. Oh, well, two more things to say to you. If you enjoyed anything about this, please, please, please go to wherever you listen to podcast, review it, subscribe if you're not subscribed yet. And more importantly, I would love for you to screenshot it, put it on your story. I will put it on my story and shout you out. And let me know what you learned. Let me know what a takeaway was from this. And if there's something you really want to hear about, let me know that too, because I can get that guest. We can have that conversation. It's all about making sure that you grow your business, your network marketing business, and you know exactly how to do that through social media. And so I'm here for you. And thank you for letting me be here for you. And last but not least, you know what I'm going to say? You're not ahead. You're not behind. You're exactly where you need to be. And I'll see you next time. Bye.